Welcome to episode 54 of A Shot of Business Central and a Beer podcast. We're back with a power-packed episode, bringing you the freshest updates from the world of Business Central. Join us as we dive into the latest Business Central information, Ken's top 5 significant enhancements in the 2023 Wave 2 release, and Michael's top 5 productivity features for new Business Central users. And, of course, we'll be talking about the latest advancements in AI, exploring how it's shaping the future of Business Central and, just life in general. So grab your favorite brew, settle in, and let's get rolling. Ken, we made it to episode 54, my friend, and we're going to be drinking some good beer, a beer that I've actually never had, but what's new with you?
You're making me happy, man.
I love the pun.
We're going to be drinking some Red Stripe today, so a Jamaican lager beer. So looking forward to that. Happy to be here today with you. Talking, we got some new exciting, it's always new and exciting stuff here.
Hopefully.
Some real new and exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, otherwise we're bad at our jobs. But first, the beer.
Yeah.
It does have a skunky smell to it for Red Stripe. If anybody's ever drunk Red Stripe, I don't know what it's called. I've never had it. It does have a little bit of a skunky smell to it.
Yeah, it's like a classic lager, like Heineken or Beck's, like something like that, yeah. Right? Comes across like that. So I figured, after I think last month you brought in a peanut butter
beer,
a peanut butter stout. I said, we just need a classic beer here, something. But this is our first Jamaican beer, so or maybe our first Caribbean beer.
My first, yeah. Our first one on the show.
Yeah.
It's my first one ever, though.
First Caribbean beer. I probably have not had a Red Stripe in 15, 20 years.
See, when I was younger, the smell of this is what steered me away from drinking beer into drinking more mixed drinks, let's say, harder alcohol. Yeah. The smell, if I would not taste the beer if I didn't know what, I guess, beer tastes like. If I was 21 or let's say 16 and you want to try your first beer and it smelled like this, no way.
Yeah.
But the taste is surprisingly
I like it. I like it. When people, you see those, like, I don't know if they still have them anymore, but like, skunky beer commercials, skunky beer face or whatever. I like it. I like it.
The taste is really good.
The flavor, the smell. I kind of want to have a big cigar right now, as a matter of fact.
Really? This gives you a cigar smell?
Yeah.
Or cigar taste?
Like enjoying a nice big cigar as I drink this.
I can always do that.
And I don't know if everyone's familiar. We can't obviously show this through the audio, but like the Red Stripe, it comes in like a, what do they call this? Like a little squat. It's kind of like a short bottle.
Yeah. It's like an elongated hand grenade.
A little squat,
Now Red Stripe, though, they were iconic. I don't know if it was 15 years ago or for the commercials. Do you remember their commercials? The Hooray commercials?
The Jamaican bobsled team?
No, but like the Jamaican guy would jump in and somebody would be doing something bad and he'd say, "Boo, drink." Well, I can't do the accent, and always at the end, it would say, "Hooray for Red Stripe." And then they finished with the slogan, which was "Drink responsibly."
No, I don't.
You don't remember? Oh, they were iconic.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, they were really, really good commercials.
Yeah, so it's a pretty low. It's a typical lager beer, 4.7% alcohol, so pretty low. I call it a session beer today.
Call it a session beer?
Session beer, yeah. It's what they kind of refer to like a beer that's typically like a stronger, like an IPA that's maybe usually 7% or 8%. They'll make a session version of it, which is the same flavor profile, except maybe only 4 or 5% alcohol. Yeah. Like Founder's All Day IPA is lower ABV IPA. It's called All Day IPA.
Because you could drink it all day.
That is lower in theory. For me, it's like 3 or 4 hours, not probably enough. don't know about all day, but
3 or 4 hours.
more than 2, right? Yeah, let's put it that way. One of the things that we saw is that there's a lot of on Beer Advocate, a lot of
Hate.
yeah, not unexpected. It has a poor ranking.
Yeah.
But we noticed the word butterscotch several times on several reviews. Are you picking up a sweet butterscotch?
Not at all.
I mean, it's definitely got a little bit of a sweetness to it, but I'm not getting a butterscotch.
I kind of get a little bit of corn.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but a little bit of corn.
Yeah, I got that too.
And then
The
traditional
grains.
beer taste.
Yeah.
Grains. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I say earthy, but
almost kind of like a Bud Light, that sweet corn kind of lager flavor.
Yeah, but no butterscotch.
No. And then your favorite, Justin Oobs from Pennsylvania.
I'd like to drink with this guy.
Short and simple response. It just says, tastes like a skunk's ass.
I don't agree with him. The smell,
it's
like a skunk ass, but
skunky.
The taste, no, not the taste.
Yeah, I got a feeling Justin Oobs is a heavy stout porter guy, or
Justin Oobs likes his beer.
Imperial IPA, one of those kind of.
He likes his beer.
Got it.
So let's see. Red Stripe says that the tasting notes are full-bodied, crisp, smooth post-palate sensation. Full-bodied, I don't know if I agree with that. Crisp, absolutely. Smooth post-palate sensation. I think it's very smooth.
Yeah.
But I don't think I agree with full-bodied.
Yeah.
But
considering in the last 5 minutes I'm already almost 2/3 done.
It goes easy. Yeah, it goes easy.
I anticipate a strong rating on this at the end of the day. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
So what do we got in store today?
Oh, well, the usual, right? We're going to bring you the latest Business Central news. And then we're going to introduce a new segment called, we're just calling it right now for Top 5, where Ken and I are going to bring you top 5 things of something that we think you should know. So today, Ken's going to do top 5.
We're doing a double feature in the introductory top 5 segment.
Yeah. Tell them what you're going to be doing your top 5 on.
I'm going to show the top 5 most significant features being released with 2023 Wave 2.
Yeah, so for all you advanced Business Central users, Ken's segment's the one for you.
Right.
If you're not as advanced and you're a new Business Central user, I'm going to be bringing you the top 5 productivity tips. Man,
easy for you to say.
Yeah, productivity tips that'll help you out using Business Central. So, and then after that, we're going to go right into what seems to be the most popular thing around lately, AI, with our AI snack time segment.
Certainly is for me. I'm looking forward to some chips and guac.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Pico de Gallo.
Pico de Gallo, absolutely. So let's jump on into it.
Let's do it.
All right, it's time for the Shot of Business Central segment. And we got some news for you today. Hopefully some things that you'll like. First off, 2023 Release Wave 2 has begun being deployed and released and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, previews available. I haven't seen any production environments being it's late October here. No BC Online environments being updated yet. Production environments.
It's gonna happen soon, then.
But I saw we did get some emails that said around November 5th or 6th, somewhere around there. But then they said they're postponing them, so who knows? But soon.
I think one of the interesting things, and you can talk more about this, you mentioned it to me, is that when we went over all the new features, there was 50, 60 maybe in July.
Right.
And you recently recounted them.
Yes.
And there's 100 plus.
Yeah, 100, almost 120. If you go to the what's new and planned page on Microsoft Learn, or whatever, and I was scrolling through the list, and I'm just trying to get more information about some of these features, and I noticed it's really long. So I actually counted them, and there's almost double the number. Now, some of them I think they're listed in two sections
Kind of
because it relates to maybe two different things, that the same feature relates to kind of two different areas. But even within development, for example, there's a long list. Now,
Really?
maybe they broke some pieces out separately or they added some new stuff in there, but it is there's well over 100 new features coming out.
It's a pretty big release. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward.
And some pretty significant changes as well, which I don't want to.
You'll be talking about later.
We'll hit in the top 5. Yeah.
All right. Next up, let's see. Version 4.0.9292 for iOS and Android has been released. They've added support for the latest mobile operating systems, updated internal components, and fixed minor issues. Also, Tell Me, data search, barcode scanner, and worksheet pages have all been added to the app. So I'm glad they're finally making us improvements to the app. I feel as if the app hasn't been touched in 4 years. I think the Tell Me feature is huge, right? I think a lot of people are going to love the barcode scanner as well.
So if I have an app on my iPhone or my Android tablet, as long as I'm regularly applying the updates, I should have had a recent update in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to go manually do it yourself every time.
No, as long as you have like you said, applying the regular update or have it set scheduled to update automatically.
Yeah.
Once it updates.
When there's an update available,
you should,
deploys it.
Yeah, but there's no going to the Microsoft website, downloading anything or whatnot. All right. Microsoft now supports only 3 active Business Central versions of on-premise, version 21, 22, and soon to be 23.
What about 14?
I was going to say some people listening might be saying, what happened to version 14? Basically the mothership of migrating from, pre-14 or NAV to Business Central. So the beloved version 14 ended with mainstream support on October 10th this year.
Wow.
Which is huge because, right? I mean, if you plan on updating or whatnot, now's a good time to upgrade.
Yeah.
But you can't really bridge with the objects to Business Central 14. You've got to go
full extensions. And you know what? I think I appreciate the fact that even after Microsoft changed their the support life cycle for Business Central from 5 years to 18 months, they did continue to support version 14.
Absolutely.
And provide updates for that, because knowing that is a version that a lot of people have moved to 14 as that bridge between the old NAV object version of on-premise to the new BC extension-based cloud version.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, really good that they extended.
And really at this point in time, I would say there's probably not going to be very many people who are running an old version of NAV who would want to go to 14 anymore. If they're just starting out on a project, right? Certainly there's a lot of people that are probably running Business Central 14 now who are planning on now moving to extensions and upgrading.
And I think a few years ago, even partners probably pushed for a lot of customers to move to Business Central 14 because they didn't have the experience with extensions. They didn't feel as comfortable using it. That's all.
Oh yeah. What was the service for BC Online going to be like? Was it going to support 100 users, 200 users? Right. There was a lot of questions.
So just safe route.
And rightfully so. So yeah, it definitely made sense as a great interim kind of stepping stone to get to BC Online. So yep. And then a couple updates. I just got back late last week from the Dynamic Communities Summit conference in Charlotte, North Carolina. So kind of my summit, first of all, just kind of some facts and figures on this conference. There were about 5,500 total attendees. So pretty big.
Down a little maybe?
Down from 2019.
Which was like 7,500 or something.
Maybe 7,000 to 8,000, something like that. Yeah. But way up over the last
Yeah.
couple of years. And they estimate that's approximately 4,500 end users and 1,000 partner
Oh,
attendees. 650 education and training sessions, over 200 sponsors, over 50 about 50 Microsoft speakers from different areas like product, engineering, executive leadership. And so, just some good old getting together and networking and whatnot.
yeah.
My key takeaways on it would be, I would say there's two things. One, Microsoft's main theme, right? And I think and their theme in general, if you've watched or seen the what was it, the dynamic launch event,
Oh, the applications.
the
today?
Microsoft Business Applications launch event that they held. Microsoft's two major themes are, one, AI Copilot, and two, Power Platform.
Yep.
So that's the content. That's the message they're pushing right now, is incorporate Power Platform more into your environments.
Yeah.
Pushing partners to create content, pushing customers to use it more.
And that was the theme at Directions too.
At Summit.
Or sorry,
Yep.
Summit. That was the theme at Summit too, pretty much.
Correct. Yep. And then they have the same playbook, deliver the same message. Yeah. And then AI and Copilot and how they're putting that into all the Dynamics products.
Let me ask you a question from an end user's perspective. Is something like a Summit as beneficial today as it was, let's say, 5 years ago? And I say that because today, we live in an information age where you can access almost anything you want online. Is the benefit really in the asking questions on the spot when somebody's doing something, when you're in a session?
Yeah.
Because I'm imagining most things you can find online that people are presenting.
Okay. I'm going to answer your question, and I will answer your question, but let me start with this. For me personally, the conference was not as beneficial as it has been in the past.
Oh, really?
I felt like it was kind of just ho-hum. And here's why I say that. Because Microsoft has really stepped up their game in communicating the plan and details of releases to the community.
Right.
So if you're like me and you're regularly paying attention to what they're saying and going into webinars and looking at the what's new and what's planned, I already have a good feel. They're doing a good job, right, of communicating.
Yeah, there's no real major news.
Which 5 to 10 years ago was not the case. So when you go to these conferences, for someone like myself, I always felt like this was my opportunity to really sit in a room with the people at Microsoft and get the inside information and be able to ask questions, right? But I kind of feel now they're doing such a good job that for me, it was marginal benefit.
Gotcha.
Now, for an end user, I think these conferences are still hugely important. If your role is really pushing your organization's advancement of Business Central, to be able to get out of the office for 3 days or however long and focus, be able to kind of clear the other stuff out and focus on Business Central, what's new. There's hundreds of content sessions on Business Central, on everything from fixed assets to Power Platform integration to apps and development. So to kind of clear your mind and focus on this and kind of strategize with your coworkers, network with people, and have fun. Right. You're drinking and eating at the expo hall. You're going to the NASCAR event. You're having some fun, and it's a nice change of pace. So I think these conferences are here to stay. Are they?
Sure.
Is everyone going to always go?
I was just wondering if they're going to have to, I don't know, how to change it up a little bit, right? Because it sounds like from a partner perspective, because I remember 5, 6 years ago, whatever it was, you didn't know if like Nav was having a new release this year. Like nobody knew.
Right,
You know,
right.
You just had to wait
And,
till like
and
a
what
month
was the
before.
plan? What's going to
Right,
happen?
yeah.
We hear these rumors and what's
Yeah.
true and what you're changing the whole licensing model or the whole
Right,
pricing
yeah.
model. They're just,
Now you're aware of it at least.
we're aware of it and we understand and it's pretty clear. So, but I still think, it's,
So do you
it's
think, sorry.
beneficial for users.
So do you think going forward then Microsoft's going to have as big of a presence? Because I always think that Microsoft's big presence there is kind of for partners in general, right? I mean, you got the sessions led by experts as it is already for the end users, but I wonder if Microsoft's presence will be as big in the future then.
I think it will remain important because I think it's important. It is
I
important
just
for a
think
lot of
50
the
seems like a lot.
for a lot of the end users to see Microsoft's investment in Dynamics.
Yeah, that's true too.
Right? That to show and to be able to see some of these people who are responsible, like we had like Mike Morton and
Yeah.
others on the development team explaining their plan and their process and some of the new stuff. It is and be able to see what's on their mind. It is, I think still beneficial for users. So
Nice.
and next year, next fall, they announced that it's going to be, I think also October, kind of similar week, mid-October in San Antonio, Texas.
It's good.
So
Yeah, they're trying to space them out then. There's what, 2 or 3 major conferences a year.
yeah, the other
Doug
big
and
one
Dragon.
for BC, it's not as large as this conference, but Dynamics Con
Yeah.
seems to be growing each year,
Mhm.
and they did a nice job putting on a show last.
And Directions too. All Directions.
Directions is partners,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, there's your third one, yeah. So.
Nice. Any more?
Yeah, just the last little piece, there was a formal hour and a half long Microsoft Business Applications launch event. It's a virtual event where they had about, I don't know, a dozen different speakers demonstrating solutions that they've built, mostly using AI and Power Platform,
Yeah.
which is their theme. But just for us Business Central fans, I got to the end of the thing and I'm waiting. I saw on the thing, it said Mike Morton, Business Central, general manager, or whatever his title is. And I'm very excited. And I figured he'd be at the end just because I saw the way they listed the speakers that he should be coming up. And then it just said, thank you for attending.
Yeah.
And I was a little bothered. Like,
Yep.
What do you mean? Where's Mike?
Business Central getting treated like a jailbird or something.
If you click up, there was a pre-recorded, apparently, it looks like it might have been a pre-recorded segment that he did. You have to, if you click up on the thing, you can see these. It's about a 7-minute thing where he talks about, what's new and some of the things. And just to share a couple of the notes that he mentioned in this, is that he said there are now over 30,000 Business Central online customers. So companies that are up and running on Business Central Online. Over 4,800 Business Central apps on AppSource, almost closing in on 5,000. They're also, you can now monetize apps on Partner Source. I don't know if you mentioned this, but that's my own little throw in there.
Yeah, nice.
That one's free. In over 160 countries. Right. And when you think about 2023 Wave 2, their focus is on core functionality, number 1, which I like to see as first on the list.
Yeah.
AI and collaboration, ease and speed of implementation, and then world-class service, right? Making sure it's stable and secure and performs well.
Still, where's the love, Microsoft? We want to be part of the Business Central application webinar where you show new integrations and how everything works.
Yeah.
Come on.
More.
We need some more pilot love. We want more. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right. Awesome. Yeah, the monetizing of the apps, nice throw in. I read about that. See how that works in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now I think it's all you can set up your apps to be licensed based on per user. So that whatever per user amount you want to charge, And it's kind of all done through AppSource and through Microsoft. And then coming out, I don't know when, soon, is going to be per tenant pricing. So maybe you have an app that you don't really want to charge per user. You just want to charge a flat fee per tenant. You'll be able to do that soon. And then also what they call metered pricing, which is any sort of way that you want to build your price based off of any types of transactions, for example. So the number of invoices you generate, the number of GL entries you post, whatever it is, you could do that.
It's a huge step in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next here? Oh, top 5 segment coming up.
Top 5, double top 5. Would that be top 10?
Could be. Can I be David Letterman?
Well,
you can be Letterman. I'll be Paul Schaefer.
Okay.
We got the same hairstyle.
There you go. All right. Welcome to our top 5 segment where Michael and I will share our top 5, whatever it is. And today, to kick off our top 5, we've got kind of a double top 5. So we've each prepared our top 5 and we'll kind of go through it. Michael's going to kick us off with his top 5 user productivity tips for Business Central users.
Yeah, for new Business Central users, right? So thanks for having me and being a part of the double shot at Business Central top 5. I appreciate it. All right, so number 1, a lot of people who are upgrading from Nav to Business Central might not have a search feature that they're accustomed to using. So number 1 is locate pages and information with the Tell Me feature. Tell Me in Business Central is basically an advanced search feature that helps you do things quickly by making it very easy for you to find exactly what you need. Some people in Nav aren't used to that. Right, Nav didn't come with a basic search function, right?
The Windows client had a similar search box, but all it showed you was just pages or reports.
Right, it wasn't like a global search, right? That was something else that I think we developed one at SSI, right? Or close to it.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Number 2, personalize your software experience, right? So with Business Central, you could personalize the workspace to see the information that you exactly need when you need it. You can remove and add fields, hide columns, move columns, hide entire sections, move sections, and so much more.
Pretty much anything you see on a page, you can tailor in terms of the positioning or display, whether it displays or not.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Most pages can be tailored. I'm not sure if there's any pages that really can't have some sort of way of tailoring, even the homepage, the role center. So Number 3, manage your notifications. You can receive notifications about certain events, changes, whatever it is. But don't let it get out of hand, right? So just manage all your notifications. It's simple to do. I'll include in the show notes step-by-step instructions to turn notifications on or off, and you can control when they're sent to you.
And when you say notifications, what we're referring to is an alert within Business Central that tells you that something is going on, right? It could be low inventory warning or customers over their credit limit,
right?
Those types of
things. A bunch of different things, yeah.
And if you get tired of seeing those or you don't want to see it, you're saying there's a page where you can go
turn it on or turn it off. Yeah, if it's not applicable to what you do for work, for your job, and you're still getting those notifications and somebody hasn't turned them off for you, whatever,
you can go
in there and turn them off. Yeah.
Turn it off.
It's really under the My Settings page, so it's not too difficult. Number 4 is something that I think is completely underutilized by a lot of people, and that is keyboard shortcuts. I don't think a lot of people use the keyboard shortcuts for Business Central that are all the keyboard shortcuts that are available. There's so many, like you can Alt Q to open a table, Alt Shift W pop out a page. I have this entire diagram or picture, whatever, showing you all the different keys that I'll include in the show notes to, make your day and the work go a little bit quicker by just not, what do they say? If you're not taking your hands off your keyboard, you're doing things a lot faster than you could be. All right. Last, definitely not least, number 5, optimize your report and documents layout view. Business Central users should know the importance of having accurate reports, but oftentimes they overlook the importance of having the data arranged correctly on the reports. Business Central allows you to control however you want to arrange the data. I believe you can change font type, size, color, images, whatever it may be. So definitely take advantage of that so that you can accurately read your reports and documents and whatnot. All right, with that, that's my top 5. I don't have any bonuses. I stuck to the game plan.
There you go.
I'll pass that along to Mr. Ken Sebahar.
Yeah, no, it's a good list. Thank you, Michael. I think if everyone just utilize those things right there, right? Those are kind of the basics of maximizing your experience when you're using Business Central.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that you're just like, oh, this is how it looks, this is how it works, these are my choices. But there's really a lot of configuration and setup that each user can do in there. So,
especially if you're a new user.
Yeah. So, okay.
Ken, what do you got?
All right. So my top 5 list for today, I'm going to focus on the top 5 most significant new features coming out in 2023 Wave 2 for existing users.
All right.
So you kind of were focusing on new users.
You're focusing on experience.
I'm focusing on existing users, companies that are already up and running. You're using Business Central every day. And then here comes this new release coming along. What are the top 5 things that you are going to be able to use immediately to improve your life every day?
All right. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Are they in any particular order? Just 1 through 5?
No particular order.
Okay.
So the first one has to do with, I'll call it reporting or data insights. And what you're going to see is on every list page, there's an analyze toggle button on the ribbon. And what this does is it converts your list page, let's say an item list page, into a virtual pivot table style report built in the Business Central user interface. And it allows you to basically kind of do Excel type pivot data right in Business Central. So you want to see your total balance due for all customers in a certain responsibility center. You could set those filters and view your customer on that analysis view and see the totals, and it adds the totals to the bottom for you.
It's pretty cool.
So, there's just,
I wonder how long it's going to take to actually build it.
Before you could do this, but I mean, you had to take the data you were looking at, open it in Excel, and then build that off of it. Now it's just right inside Business Central. So
it's cool.
It's a lot of promise there.
Yeah.
And I think back to when we interviewed Mike Morton about a year ago or so, and he was talking about some new features that they were going to be building in, and like these wow features that you're going to be like, wow, that's awesome. Like that should have been there before. This is a good example of kind of leveraging all the Microsoft products kind of together. So that's cool. The second one, number 2, also reporting related or analysis related, is there are if you go, I forget which Role Center page it is. It's the business manager is one for sure that has it, but I think the accounting manager is another one that has it. There's a little button on the top on the ribbon that says Excel reports, and there's a list. Currently there's about 7. And they're all kind of financial reports, trial balance, AP aging, AR aging. There's like double or triple the number in the new release. But not only do you run the reports and it opens the data in a nice clean Excel spreadsheet, but they also build pivot tables and put the field slicers onto the view automatically for you. So as soon as you open it, you can slice and filter the data in Excel upon opening it.
Who needs Power BI?
So, so those are both reporting. But again, it's kind of like, users, right? All this data is in the system, and that data is meaningful and is important. So being able to not only get to the data, but also analyze the data efficiently is huge. So that's number one and number two. Number three, something that if you're an existing Business Central user, this is probably, maybe this will be your number one thing, is going to be the ability to add any field that's on the table onto your page view. Currently, someone at Microsoft decides which fields should be available for users to personalize or configure onto their pages. Now there's going to be this ability to add any field. Caveat to this, from what I've seen in the preview, this is useful for those people who are configuring role centers.
Okay.
So someone who's configuring, let's say, the inventory manager role center, they can go in and configure and add maybe any column they want onto an item list page, for example. But you cannot do that through personalization.
Really?
With personalization, each user is still limited to only the fields that have been made available to them.
That's really interesting. So if you want to add extra fields now, is it just through extensions?
You have to do an extension today,
Okay.
right? If it's a field that's not already available. But now you can go into configure as like a role center manager.
Yeah.
And you can say add fields, and it pulls up the list of every single field. It also tells you which fields it recommends that you not add to the page. Like, because there's certain fields that are maybe like system fields or things that could be misleading or confusing to a user, that they're like, maybe you shouldn't add this one to there, but you still can.
Yeah.
But they kind of tell you which ones are suggested fields versus non-suggested fields.
You're right. That might be number one. That's huge.
That could be number one. Yeah. And my number four is a new page called Search Company Data. And what this is, it's called Search in Company Data. And it kind of looks like a Google search page or Bing search page, should I say. And you get a little text box on the top. You have to type in at least 3 characters. And what it does is it searches through all of the data in your system and shows you the results of every record and type grouped by type of record that has a match. So for example, if in my demo environment, I type 1000 into the search box, I hit go, within 1-2 seconds, I got back customers. I see 1 customer, A Datum Corporation, then posted sales invoices, and I see 3 posted sales invoices. Again, it found it over in the customer number. I see several contacts. One, it's in the phone number. One, it's in the address. One, it's in the contact number. I see general ledger entries. I see customer ledger entries, vendors, vendor ledger entries, items, and so on. Now you're like, how is it searching? Is it going through every single table in the whole database? It is not. If on the page, if you go, there's a little option to show tables in search. And what you'll see is that the list of tables that it's searching through is different for each role center.
Really?
So if you're the accounting manager role center, it's looking at things like general ledger entries, posted purchase invoices, maybe bank racks or bank entries. If you are if you're the service manager, it's looking at service items, service orders, posted service shipments, right? Manufacturing, it's looking at production order data. So what they're trying to do is make it so that whatever your role is, that's the type of data you're going to be searching on to streamline it a little bit.
Do you know if that can be changed?
Yeah, you can go in under actions and say show all tables, and then add whichever ones you want to any role.
So it's basically it's like a character search, right? It'll search characters and
Wherever
these
that three characters anywhere in any field.
Populates everything that it finds with those characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
How cool is that? Think about customer calls up. Common example is they go, "Where's my order?" And you go, "Oh, do you have your sales order number?" And they go, "No, I don't. I have my PO number. It's PO 1234." You open up the company data, search a company data page. You type 1234.
It'll show you everything.
It shows you everything. And the reason that's important is because that still could be an open sales order that hasn't shipped yet. So you would see it under sales orders.
Right.
Or it may have already been shipped and been invoiced, in which case it would be under posted shipments.
Yeah.
And then you could open the posted shipment, track the package, and tell them, oh, it should arrive tomorrow.
It's a good feature. That could also be number one, but it's interesting to see that they're taking like from Word and Excel where you find whatever it is and it populates everything with those characters. So
yep.
Nice.
And my last one is not something that maybe each end user is going to love themselves personally, but as an end user, it is going to make the companies more efficient. This is it's one of the development changes, and it's the ability to open Visual Studio Code from the web client in a production environment to troubleshoot. So today, that doesn't exist. If you have an error in your production environment and you call your partner and you say, "What's the error?" They cannot debug that code to try to identify the source of the problem. Instead, you'd have to create a new sandbox as a copy of your production, and then in a sandbox, you could go in and turn on debugger. So the ability for a support technician to diagnose and troubleshoot issues in a production environment in real time with no impact on performance, because that's the key. You used to be able to do it and it would drag performance down because it's now logging everything. Microsoft has stated that there's no impact on the performance of that environment when you want to go do troubleshooting in that production environment. So I think it's not something that,
for developers,
for each end user that's directly impacting them. But if you do have an error, it means you're going to get a much quicker you should get a much quicker resolution to that error.
Absolutely.
By being able to debug that in a production environment. So there's a lot more. I'm going to stick to my top 5 because you stuck to your top 5, but there's, like I said, over 100 new features in this upcoming release.
Crazy.
Which is a ton. And I think some really significant ones. I didn't mention a couple that are really more related to onboarding and setting up the system and some features and functionality there. But I wanted to stick to existing users, our loyal podcast listeners who are benefiting just right now. They're logging in, they're going, what?
We love the new users too.
We love them all. That's why you focused on them.
Yeah, you got to show some love. All right. Well, it's good. That's both of our top 5s. Very interesting. Liked it. Next up, the popular segment AI Snack Time, where we get to, well, at least where I get to dive into a brand new snack.
Yeah. Whoops.
Ken's already.
I may or may not have opened the bag already.
Ken, it's AI Snack Time. And you brought in some very addicting snacks that throughout the entire U.S. people love and go crazy about. What'd you bring in?
We got some nice thick tortilla chips, El Rancheros. We stay away from those thin, wispy little tortilla chips.
We want manly chips.
Right. And then we got some mango salsa. Went with the mango themed salsa today. Just thought maybe that's a Jamaican style stuff. It seems like it should be anyway, right? Yeah. And then some guacamole
from the Bahamas.
No. Nope, from Jewel. Yeah.
Either way, phenomenal.
So yeah, some good little snacks here. We kind of realize how hungry we are once we busted.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hunger or if it's like the old Pringles commercials. Once you pop, you can't stop. It's just it's addicting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It is for sure.
All right, So for Microsoft AI news, I saw that Satya Nadella released his annual letter to shareholders, and it was pretty lengthy. And I sat there and I read through all of it. And like everything else Microsoft these days, most of it was focused on AI. At least 90% of it.
Why didn't you
AI.
give me an opportunity to guess what most of it was centered on?
I don't want you to say Power Platform and hurt, get hurt. But most was AI, even when they talked about Power Platform was AI. So what I did is I pulled out a couple paragraphs here and there, statements, whatever that I thought were kind of interesting that I'll go through. But if it sounds, like I'm reading it, it's because I am. So, all right. First, they said that we will maintain our lead as the top commercial cloud while innovating in consumer categories from gaming to professional social networks. Second, because we know that the maximum enterprise value gets created during platform shifts like this one, we will invest to accelerate our lead in AI by infusing. Here, this is what I thought was interesting. We will invest to accelerate our lead in AI by infusing this technology across every layer of the tech stack. And finally, we're going to continue to drive operating leverage, aligning our cost structure with our revenue growth. So with this, just to start out, if you had any idea on what Microsoft's plans were with AI, they're going to,
they're all
use it. Yeah, they're all in across every tech stack you can think of. So,
yep. And I know in our world, the Dynamics world, it is through the Copilot product, right? I mean, we're seeing those features getting reviewed across that.
Yeah. Satya also said there's two breakthroughs coming together to define the new era of AI that I wanted everybody to know. The first is the most universal interface, natural language. Second is the emergence of a powerful new reasoning engine. So not only, I think right now we're used to AI with the natural language, right? It's just you can talk to it and say whatever, but it's going to have the power to reason. So it says that for years we've digitized daily life, places, and things, organized them into databases. But in a world rich with data, what has been most scarce is our ability to reason over it. This generation of AI helps us interact with data in powerful new ways, from completing or summarizing text to detecting anomalies and recognizing images to help us identify patterns and surface insights faster than ever. Have you seen AI that recognizes images and things like that?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I saw a thing, and I don't know how common this is or where I saw this exactly, but basically I've seen where if you give it a picture of like a web page, for example, or like a mock-up of a page, you actually can present that into like a Copilot in a development environment and have it write the code to build that page. Yeah, with those fields on it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty amazing. Speaking of Copilot, Satya says that our belief is that you will invoke a Copilot to do all activities that you're used to doing and more. So basically to shop, to code, to analyze, to learn, to create. So let's see what else we got here. Every customer solution area that they have in tech stack is going to be reimagined for the AI era, and that's what they've already begun to do. To help people learn more about AI, they've launched the first online professional certificate on generative AI in partnership with LinkedIn Learning. So you can actually go get an AI certificate now if you want to be an AI specialist or whatever.
Sure.
Let's see. They've held their first AI community learning event in the U.S. These events this learning event's going to finally be replicated around the entire world and going to be localized in 10 different languages over the next year. So they've partnered with other people to launch a generative AI skills grant challenge to explore how nonprofits, social enterprise, and research or academic institutions can empower the workforce to use this new generation of AI. They released their governing AI blueprint within the last year. And the governing AI blueprint basically has 5 points. I'll go through them real quick. First, implement, build upon new government-led AI safety frameworks, which I have not read the frameworks by the government on what the safety is for AI.
No one has.
I don't know. Yeah. Second, they have to require effective safety breaks for AI systems that control critical infrastructure. I'd say, if I could expand upon that, I would say they should require effective safety breaks for all AI systems, not the ones that just control critical infrastructure. Third,
Transparency would be nice on how they provide those results.
yeah, they got to get the bugs worked out first, probably. Third is they got to develop a broad legal and regulatory framework based on the technological architecture for AI. Fourth is Ken's favorite, promote transparency and ensure academic and nonprofit access to AI.
There you go.
Fifth and finally, pursue new public-private partnerships to use AI as an effective tool to address the inevitable societal challenges that come with new technology. I think that one kind of scares me the most. I don't know if I want AI addressing societal challenges because of new technology. I don't know if I want anybody telling me how I have to think, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I should say not.
Yeah, that's my Microsoft AI news, and I've got a little bit AI world news. I don't know if you got anything from Microsoft.
Well, yeah, let's a little bit more on Microsoft specifically before we dive into general AI stuff is so Microsoft recently announced their 2024 fiscal quarter one results. Right. So, and I was watching and quite a bit on like news shows like Bloomberg or CNBC, they talk about, Microsoft's earnings and is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? What are they going to say? Are they monetizing AI yet? Right. And my point is all anyone talks about is AI. Where are they at with AI? Are they monetizing AI? How much is AI? Blah, 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 blah. But just to show you, and meaning that's the future, right? When people are looking at the future, that's seems to be all people are looking at, which I guess makes sense. But just to put it into perspective for people, these numbers are just shocking. Listen to this. For the quarter, so this is 3-month period, revenue sales was $56 billion. 56, right?
Good number.
That's a pretty good number. And that's up 13%, which again, a company this big that is growing at 13%.
That's a lot of money.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Now, this is the shocking number. Net income, bottom line profit, $22.3 billion.
Amazing.
An increase of 27%. So the profit doubled relative to the increase in sales. So
love to know why.
Well, they just did a big cut, layoff.
Oh, that's right.
Back in a couple, earlier this year.
Like 10,000 people or something.
Yeah, quite a bit. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. Right. I don't know. I'm speaking out of turn. I don't know exactly. I didn't dive through the financials. However, when just so people, when you say, okay, the future of Microsoft is based on their ability to monetize AI, I do agree with that. But put this into perspective. Their net income was $22 billion on $56 billion in sales. Do you know
how much of it was AI?
That is a almost 40% net profit margin on sales.
Huge.
I mean, an astronomical number.
Yeah.
So Microsoft is doing very well, kicking ass across many different areas. And yes, AI is an important part of the future. But in watching the news and the media and the experts, they made it seem as if if there was any sort of delay in the AI that the company was doomed.
I don't think, if I had to guess, I almost would say AI has probably been more of an expense than a so-called asset, whatever, on with that revenue, whatever, because how much money have they made from AI yet? I mean, they're just starting to charge.
You're correct. You're right on. Right. Meaning they've invested all this money in it.
Right.
Are they now starting to reap the rewards?
The future.
And book some revenue off of that huge investment that they've made. And that's what people are looking for, is to see. Yeah. But I don't know how maybe they are going to break it out specifically, but if it's across all the products,
or not?
I don't know how, unless it's just that SKU that they're creating. It's $30 per user per month for the Copilot. And if that covers Copilot for everything,
I think it might.
maybe that might be the answer. And they might publicly disclose how much revenue is associated with that. But I don't know. But I just found it really interesting for a company as hugely successful and profitable as Microsoft that it was like everyone's sitting on eggshells, waiting to see how are they executing AI. And it's happening so fast. So quickly, the expectations are that we went from 0, a year ago,
right,
to
you're at level 10, right? Everybody talking about it nuts.
The moon.
So you a buyer on Microsoft stock?
I'm an owner and a holder.
But are you a buyer now? Another.
Not today, but maybe I should be. Yeah. So that was just a little bit more. I wanted to kind of. I figure it's AI related because it was
absolutely
the future of the company seems to be so directly tied to the success in executing that.
Yeah, I think if AI hits the way they seem to think it's going to hit, that those numbers are going to increase 4 or 5-fold. I mean, it could be, if it's as big as everybody's talking about, right? Bigger than the internet, bigger than, who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah, we're going to see. All right, so all I got left then is some AI world news that I thought was a little bit interesting, a couple little points. First is several so-called AI godfathers warn that the technology could easily go rogue since no one currently knows how to reliably align AI behavior with complex values. So that could be kind of crazy. Nobody wants AI to go rogue. And then second or last, I guess, what's being billed as the world's first AI safety summit is going to be held on November 1st and 2nd at Bletchley Park, the UK's infamous World War II code-breaking center. Are you Are you sold on AI yet? No. You think it's inevitable though? That it's going to be infused in every single industry? It's not going away?
It will become more and more infused in all different types of products. Absolutely. I think it's going to take a lot longer to change. And I think when you talk about people adopting AI, like everyone's going to use AI, there will be probably the largest segment, I believe, of the largest segment of people, the largest number of people that yes, will be utilizing AI without really trying to. They're using it and they don't know they're using it.
No.
Or they're just using a product, but that product has it in there and they're not aware of it, but it's what's making it work so well.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing. So when they say that everyone's going to be, it's going to be in every part of everyone's life all the time, I think that, yeah, maybe like, is my coffee maker going to tell me when it needs to be cleaned or something? Yeah. Yes. Okay, maybe. But am I like buying that unit because it has AI and it tells me it needs to be cleaned? Probably not. Right. So that's what I mean. Like I'm not a reluctant user, but unintentional user.
I think most people are going to end up using it, not knowing they're using it through their phones. I think phones are going to start hitting, adding it to whatever they do, however they want to. I saw this stat. Globally, AI is expected to kill 400 million jobs, but it's expected to add 90 million jobs for AI. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, the possible issue with that is what type of jobs.
Well, yeah.
And
didn't break it down. Well, I'll give you an example.
That's the issue. Like, oh yeah, you're going to need a lot more very, very highly skilled technical people to work on this and run it and mold it and whatever. Yeah. But you're going to need maybe a lot less lower skilled labor jobs, and what's the impact of that going to be?
Huge. I saw somewhere in Texas that Amazon, they're going to actually have their first AI infused warehouse up and running, to where they claim that it's going to be AI assisted by people actually going to help the robots do the picking and whatever for the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think if that actually works out, one, Amazon's revenues and stuff are going to go through the roof. But two, you're going to displace a lot of people just doing that job. It's going to be interesting.
Well, and I don't know how much does each of these robots cost?
Yeah.
How much
I'm
does
sure the
an
upfront
employee
cost-
cost?
Yeah.
What
Right.
that,
How long does
what's
it take
that
to
break
recoup
even?
the number? Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would think it's probably 5 years.
Yeah, probably
If I had to guess.
at most.
You know what I mean?
I would guess, yeah.
Especially right now when the technology is expensive and everything is going to be more and more cheap as time goes on.
Yep.
But all right, it's time to rate the beer. And you're actually, I'm going to cheat with you. I'm going to pull up my sheet.
Caught me off guard here.
Yeah, you're not going to believe, as this beer gets more and more warm, I'm starting to get this taste that I can't believe it. I can't believe that. Let's dive into it. Let's talk about it. So as this beer gets more and more warm, well, first I was telling you earlier that I'm getting like a menthol type taste when I was drinking it on the aftertaste, whatever. Now, as it warms up, and I might be crazy, I'm getting like a root beer kick.
Wow.
Yeah, so maybe it is a little butterscotchy, but more root beerish. I don't know what it is.
Not the mango salsa?
No, this was before that. This is at the end of the first one.
Maybe that is the butterscotch that we were talking about.
Just for the record, right now, Ken's looking at me like I'm crazy. Everybody, he's like, I can't believe you just said that.
Root beer. I mean, it's beer. It's got the word beer in it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when it warms up, I get a little root beer flavor.
All right. Well,
my palate is expanding in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
All right. So, what about you?
All right. So I know. Yeah, I got my number. So at 0 to 100, I'm going to rate it as an 87.
87, huh?
Yes. So to put that into perspective, I ranked a Modelo at 88. So not as quite as good as a Modelo, but better than the Asahi Super Dry Japanese rice lager.
Yeah, which I didn't drink. You put that at 86.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see here. I got Corona Extra 96, Summer Shandy 94, Omega Haze. Oh no, that's IPA. Oktoberfest. I'm gonna go with. Oh, I like it. So I'm going pretty high. I'm going 90, Ken.
Okay.
I'm going 90.
All right.
I like this beer. It's really good. And the flavor palette, I don't know, keeps changing as I keep drinking it. I'm not a fan of the smell though. I don't like the smell at all of it. So if I can get away with not smelling it but drinking it, I'm liking it. Yeah, I'm going 90. A solid 90.
I got a little fun fact for you here. I don't mean to drag out the podcast longer than we need to here, but let me do a little bit of data mining here.
It's a hot keyword they.
Oh wait, no, hold on, forget it. I messed up. I was looking at the wrong column. I thought you had a bunch of 90s out here. You don't.
No, not for lagers.
No, you don't have many. So you're good. It's all good.
Yeah.
User error.
Now I know you watched that business apps thing today. They talked a lot about data mining and they used that keyword a couple times.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the end of our show. So everybody share it, like it. We'd appreciate it. And keep sticking around listening to it. Ken?
Bye.
As we end today's podcast, we want to give a big thank you to everyone who listens, shares this podcast, and leaves us reviews. You've taken a good amount of your time out of your day, and we truly appreciate it. Thanks again. And don't be afraid to email us at marketing@solsyst.com with your tips for the podcast, or maybe you'd even like to be a guest during an episode.